Barcaldine was the shearers' main centre during the strikes of 1891 and 1894. The men would meet in the shade of an old ghost gum in Barcaldine. This became known as the Tree of Knowledge, a shrine to Australia's working heritage. In 2005, in what the state member for the region Vaughan Johnson described as a despicable act of bastardry by a gutless coward, the Tree of Knowledge was poisoned. In its place, a huge structure has been built, a monument to the memory of the shearers, some of whom were jailed for their part in fighting for workers' rights.
I'm nearly 82-year-old, and the tree was always a big tree in those days, and it wasn't very significant. It was just an old gum tree. Why it was never ever cut down, no one knows why. But when Barcaldine was first came to be in 1887, 88, there was no meeting place in town, and the Teamsters were the big union in those days, and they used to have their big meetings there, and hence the 1891 shearer strike come along, and they had their meetings there. Now, it was the only meeting place of the town. The Salvation Army and all them met under it. Now, that sort of went on until we got a meeting place, and then it's really only in the last 40 years that it's been known as a Tree of Knowledge. It was only an old gum tree that I had a beehive in it and a glass nest, but no one ever realised the significance of the history of it, you know. And I inherited the presidency of the Labor Party around about that time, 30 years, and I automatically accepted the caretaker of the tree because it was starting to become important. It had to be looked after, and that went on right up until 2007, and we had our, it got poisoned, and we had I thought that when the leaves started to fall off it, I thought it was automatic, but anyhow, we eventually realised that it had been, thought it was poison. We rang a bloke named Ross Wiley. He was the DPI, he's a doctor working with the DPI, and told him he'd been looking after it for a good few years, and anyhow he flew up and brought a tree doctor with him, and they verified that it had been poisoned. So it was poisoned with a poison of the same strength as Roundup, and whether it was Roundup or not we don't know, but you give it a good hit anyhow because it never ever revived, you know. And really the Tree of Knowledge, its history, it wouldn't have the history only for the 1891 shearer strike, where them 13 shearers went to jail for 3 years for their workmates. They were convicted of a conspiracy with a kangaroo court in Rockhampton, and the government said if they admit they were wrong, they'd let them go, but they wouldn't do that because they were there. They were fighting for better working conditions and better wages for their members, you know. So, and that was the start of the history of what the tree's all about now. We got a monument there with their profiles and everything on it, and it'll be there forever and a day. But people have got to be told that that's what the tree's all about, the sacrifice that those blokes made for their worker mates, and you wouldn't find a union leader today would be prepared to go to jail for 3 years for his mates. So it's just how strong they were in those days, and possibly not only the workers, everyone now. It's all about unity, and if you want to win everything, you all got to stick together, and that's the same of both factions of the party, you know. Eventually the Labor Party started there, the AWU started there. This is where it all came from, was from Barcaldine. In 2007, after the tree was poisoned, of course, the state Labor government gave the council out of the Q150 money to preserve it, build an interpretation centre, and to make a monument out of the tree. Now, to do that, well, they had to preserve it, and it was dug up, and with the root ball still on it and sent to Brisbane. The DPI, for the want of a word, they pickled it or preserved it with a medicine and that to preserve it for its longevity. And anyhow, that was down there for about 18 months, and they brought it back. And last year, 2009, it came back and stood up. And in that time, the council called tenders for a monument to be built around the tree, and they only got the one tender, and they went ahead with that, and that's the monument that we have there now. There's been a lot of criticism for it, but a lot of criticism for and against it, you know, and it's something that probably like everything, everyone likes something and some hate it, and well, mate, they could put a thunderbox there, and if it was relating to the history of the 1891 strike, I'd be happy about it.